Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
A good Chodesh Tov. We are learning Mishna Kiddushin, Parak Gimel, Chapter 3, Mishnah Gimel, Mishnah 3. Okay, continuing with a discussion about the conditions that the man says when he's making Kiddushin. So another example, Amenash Sheyeshli base kar offer. On the condition he says, all right, Mekudeshesli, you're a betrothed to me with this, pruta, with this kesef, with this money that I'm giving you. Amenash on the condition that I have a base core of land. Now, a base core is a measure of area. So he's saying to her, you are Mekudeshes to me, with this money, on the condition that I have a piece of land the size of a base core. So says the Mishnah, Reizim Mekudeshes, she's Mekudeshes, v'yeshlai, as long as he has it. If he has it, he's met the condition. If he doesn't have it, he hasn't met the condition. Now, how do we know if he's met the condition? So the answer is, like we said yesterday, he brings witnesses to the fact that he owns this area, he owns this area of land. What if he has no, and what if he doesn't have witnesses? So we don't really know. So again, we say, says the Bar Tanura, there's Mekudeshes misafik. It's a question, it lands up that she is Mekudeshes in doubt, in doubt rather. Meaning we don't know, does he have the land or not? If he has the land, she's Mekudeshes. If he doesn't, she's not Mekudeshes. So therefore, although the Mishnah doesn't mention it, the Mishnah just mentions when she is Mekudeshes, which is when he has. That means we know that he has because he provides witnesses to the fact. When he doesn't have witnesses, we say that although he's not producing any witnesses, we still have to be concerned that maybe somewhere he has a piece of land and that he's not telling us about, similar to yesterday with the money. But as the Bar Tanura says, the Mishnah here is telling us something novel in comparison to yesterday's. Because yesterday the person said, on the condition that I have 200 zuz, okay? And let's say he had no witnesses. So we said, okay, but we still have to be concerned that maybe he's hiding some money away, okay? So money is something you hide away. You can't hide, how do you hide a piece of land? That's not as easy to do that. And as the Bar Tanura says, if he had a piece of land, even without witnesses, it seems like people would know about it. It would be out there that he has a piece of land somewhere. And therefore, I might think that if he doesn't produce witnesses, that we should assume that he doesn't have the land and she's not Mekudeshes. So therefore, the Bar Tanura says that here too, the halacha is similar to yesterday's Mishnah, that even if he doesn't produce witnesses that he has the land, we have to be concerned that somewhere he does have this land. Nobody knows about it, but he has it somewhere, and therefore she is Mekudeshes this man. It's a question. She's in a state of doubt whether she's Mekudeshes to him or not. And if she'd want to marry somebody else, she would need a divorce from him. Next case, Amanas sheyesh li b'makam ploni. On the condition that I have this base core, this area of land in this place. Doesn't just say in general I have it, but he says in this place. If he has, meaning if there are witnesses that he has in that place, she's Mekudeshes. V'imlav, and if not, there's no witnesses to say that he has it there. Ain't a Mekudeshes. She's not going to be Mekudeshes. It would seem like in this case, meaning we didn't like before. It just said she's Mekudeshes. When he said in general that I have this base core, Nisha says she's Mekudeshes if he has. It doesn't say if he doesn't have. She's not Mekudeshes like here. I think the explanation is because before he just says, if I have, well, maybe he has it, who knows where. But over here, he said in a specific place. He has it in this place. Well, if he has it in this place, okay. If he doesn't have it in this place, and that's something that we can determine, Ein Mekudeshes, she's not going to be Mekudeshes to him. Next, Amanash Sha'arech base core offer, on the condition that I show you a base core, meaning an area of dirt. An area of dirt that fills the area of a base core. That's what he's saying to her. I mean, you're Mekudeshes to me on the condition that I will show you actually, I'm sorry. It says offer dirt. I translated it wrong. It means on the condition that I show you a base core of land. In the first case, he's saying on the condition that I have. And now he's saying on the condition that I show you a piece of land the size of a base core. There the halacha is, Harezi Mekudeshes, she's Mekudeshes v'yarena, and he's got to show it to her. Now, v'mehera babika, but if let's say he showed her this area of land in a plain, which means it's a public area. It's not owned by anyone. So she basically just showed her an area of a base core. Ain't a mukadeshes. She's not going to be mukadeshes. Now here again, what's the Mishnah telling us? Meaning clearly the point of the Mishnah is the point. I shouldn't say that. The point of the Mishnah is that when he says on the condition that I show you, it's not enough just about showing. He's showing her something that he owns, and therefore, in the case where he just shows her this piece of land in a plain, which means it's not his land, that's not going to work. But as the Bartanura points out, this includes even if a case of this area of this area that doesn't own. Let's say he's renting the field. He's renting this area. Let's say he has some kind of a contract to work on this area, which means that it's a land that he can work on and make a living from and make something from. But he rented it. So therefore, the point of the Mishnah is that even in a situation where it comes out that he showed her a piece of land that wasn't his, but he was renting it, or as I see here in the notes, the law applies whether he is a leaseholder who pays the owner a certain amount of grain and keeps the rest, a hired worker who is paid a fixed sum of money for his work, or a permanent sharecropper who receives a percentage of the crop. Either way, even though he has something here, right? He has some kind of stake here in this land, but it's not his. That's not going to be enough to fulfill this condition. The condition that I show you this amount of land is understood to mean that it's his. Therefore, if it's not his, even if he's renting it or such, the halacha is he has not fulfilled his condition, and she is not mekudeshes. She is not married to him. Have a wonderful day, wonderful Shabbos, Chodesh Tov, a good
What's the translation of cool?